Alright, today we're going to talk about how to drive in bad weather. Psych! Californians don't know how to drive in bad weather. This is like the worst that it gets. Come on. Alright, hey, what's up YouTube? I'm out here delivering again. I'm always talking to you guys when I'm here, when I'm unloading, because this is the only place, the only time I really have time to kind of relax, have some me time. Otherwise, I'm driving, or I'm scaling, or I'm loading, or I'm driving again, and then I get here, I hook up my hoses. I got about 20 minutes of me time. I got to fill out my paperwork. I got to go down, and they used to let us go into the lounge area, and they just got like a microwave and a refrigerator and some hot water, coffee maker, stuff like that. But ever since COVID happened, they put a couple stinky porta potties out here. So just use the restroom and then wait for this thing to finish. So I got about 10 minutes to make a video. I wasted about 7 minutes trying to set up the phone because I don't have a cool phone holder or tripod or anything like that. I was trying to find somewhere where you could see my face and where you could hear me a little bit, because there's some background noise because they're processing over on the other side. So I'm trying to find a place that's a little bit more quiet so you guys can hear my voice. But anyway, what I actually wanted to talk about today was why some owner-operators don't like to talk about their money. It's just a fact of life that most owner-operators won't tell you what they're making, what the loads pay, all that kind of stuff. If you're here because you saw me on the Asian My show, you saw that I did the yearly amounts and I didn't talk about how much I make per load. And the reason for that is because these are contracted loads, and I don't really want to ruin the contract for my employer, for the company that I lease on with. That's not anything I'm interested in doing. But I will show you what the money is total. And if you missed that, you can go to the Asian My Show's channel, YouTube channel, and look up the hazmat tanker interview he did with me about a week ago. But anyway, so most of you guys are here because you saw that and you came over, and I appreciate you for the subscription. I appreciate you guys kind of jump starting my channel. The Asian My Show gave me a big boost. I was at 30 subscribers and now I'm over 300, so very much appreciate him. And what I want to do with this channel is just share whatever I know, whatever knowledge I've gained, and then of course what I'm also still learning, because a lot of people, when they want to get into truck driving, or even if they've just gotten into truck driving, if you don't know someone, like really know someone, guys always say that everything's awesome and everything's great wherever they work. And then they leave there and then they tell you the real story. Oh, well, the dispatcher was like that, or this or that, and the other thing, they did this to me, whatever. But while they're working there, everyone says it's all peaches and cream. Well, being who I am, and being my brother was already hauling this stuff before I ever got here, and then my father-in-law also has been in trucking for 40 years, and he was on working for actually a competitor of ours, but nevertheless he was in this same hazmat tanker game for a long time. He's no longer in it. He's doing some other stuff in trucking, but the fact is that I got kind of the real deal scoop because I had family that was already doing it. And unless you have family that's already doing it, or you know someone who's willing to tell you like the real truth about it, then you're gonna just be wondering, and you're never gonna get a straight answer from most owner operators. And I'm gonna tell you why right after I go unhook my hoses and do all that. I'll probably catch up with you guys at the fuel station. See ya. Why won't owner-operators talk about their pay, like their real pay? Well, there's one simple reason. They don't want you coming in and stepping on their toes. If they've got a good gig going, they don't want someone else coming in because there's less loads to go around. That's why it is for guys that I work with. If guys that I work with knew that I went on the Asian My Show and shared that information, it probably would be a little upset with me, because they don't want a bunch of guys coming in here and flooding in and making it, you know, if there's 60 loads a day and there's 20 drivers, then we all get 3. Well, if there's 30 drivers, then we all only get 2. So that's basically the only reason why. And so unless you have someone on the inside, unless you have someone who's willing to actually share it with you, like a family member, you're never going to find out what guys are really paying or what guys are really making. So the fact is that YouTube's here. There's a lot of guys on YouTube sharing what they make, how they make it, the stuff that they do, because we just want to help people who are getting into truck driving or thinking about getting into truck driving, or who have been in truck driving for 30 years but just have only had the jobs that they've had. Like, you only know the experience you have. And so for anyone who doesn't know, I just want to share my experience, and I'm willing to share it with you guys, because ultimately the way I see it is, if more guys come in and step on my toes, let's say, it'll just open up loads other places somewhere else, and I'm not afraid of you know, being on my own. Like, this isn't the end all be all. This isn't like my long-term goal isn't to stay as a leased on owner operator for the rest of my life. You know, I've got some things that I'd like to do, and so if I have to expedite those plans and move a little quicker because too many guys are coming in, then so be it. You know what I mean? Like, I really think that if guys want to put themselves out there and step up to the plate and become leased on owner operators, they want to get out of being a company driver, they want to get out of whatever situation they're in and try their hand at this, I want them to know that there's a possibility to make a little bit of money. You know, it's funny, I've had like half the people who comment or send me emails say that my income's too low for California, my income's too low for hazmat, my income isn't, I'm not making enough, you know, I might as well be a company driver, stuff like that. And then I got other guys saying, man, what are you doing with all that money? You must be like rolling in the dough, you must, you know, you should do this with your money or do that with your money. And you know, the fact of the matter is that depending on what your expectations are, you know, the money that we make is pretty good or maybe pretty bad, depending on what your expectations are. So if you're expecting to live a lifestyle of luxury and have all new stuff, then you know, maybe that's you should be looking to you know, grow your career in a different direction than leased on subhauling. But if you want like a consistent, regular work that has a little more stress but also a little more pay than a company job, but it's basically similar to a company job because you get dispatched, because you aren't in control of what loads you do when you get a dispatch, you do them. You know, you got to work with your dispatcher just like you do anywhere, and you know, depending on the day, I got a pretty good relationship with my dispatcher, so I can kind of get what I want most of the time. But you know, I pretty much never say no to a load. I'm out here on a Friday night right now because the refinery was down yesterday, and then it was up working today, and so he said, hey, I got loads, do you want them? And I just said yes. I could have said no, but you know, he would have remembered that the next time it gets slow, next week it's slow again. So is he going to give me loads next week? Well, I hope so, because I'm working for him tonight, you know, on a weekend night. So anyway, that's when guys don't want to share their information, it's usually because they work for somewhere pretty good and they don't want people coming in and stepping on their toes. And then the guys who usually tell you what they make, you know, they're bragging about it and all that. And maybe you think that's what I'm doing, I don't know. There was one guy who commented on the Asian My Show channel app on the video that I did with Alex over there, and he said you can take that snake oil you're selling or something like that. Like I was like, all right, am I selling snake oil here? Like, I'm just trying to tell people my experience in truck driving and let them know like what I'm making. Like it's I don't know, it is what it is. Like I work my butt off. I definitely work my butt off to make what I've made, but I think it's a lot. I think it's plenty. I recommend leasing on for anyone who's just getting in, or if you don't have a huge savings built up for owning your own truck. Leasing on was a blessing for me because I was able to get help a lot, and I was prevented from failing because of the generosity of the owner of this company. Anyway, just wanted to throw that out there and say hello on a Friday night, well, Saturday morning technically, and yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.